All right, so let's see. NCIS Sydney, Season 1, Episode 7. So we're getting closer to what I figured was going to happen all along, which doesn't make me happy at all, even though it is kind of cute, but still. Anyway, to start off, we see Dee and JD wearing tuxes, and they meet up with the rest of the team, and Mackie and Evie are coming down the stairs dressed up, and Dee suddenly lost the ability to talk in complete sentences. And to be honest, I don't know if it was her, if it was Mackie, if it was both, because they both looked really good. And Blue is bummed out that she isn't going to get to go because she's a total tech nerd. But apparently, because it's a naval thing, an NCIS, it's Navy stuff, that they were allowed, but she's not, or something. Then it turns out that there was a murder, which we saw the cleaning lady, the housekeeper at the hotel find. And what a way to find out that, what a way to start your day. You innocently go into a room and discover that there's a dead body there. So, it's decided that the guys, JD and Dee, are going to investigate the murder because this is an American thing, the banquet. And Dee's like, wait, I'm an American, why can't I go to the banquet? And I wholeheartedly agree. Why was Dee the one kicked to the curb? Why not let it be Mackie, Deshawn, and Blue? Because Blue is like totally into this sort of thing. She's into tech. So that makes perfect sense. But no, it's the girls. Okay, fine. And Blue, sweet Blue, she sees how dressed to the nines Mackie and Evie are. But, Mackie tells her that she needs to get dressed. And she's like, but I am dressed. Seriously, do you not understand why they dressed up like that? I mean, maybe the show is making her more like the actress being demisexual. So maybe she just doesn't see this as out of the ordinary. Okay, you're wearing clothes, but she doesn't figure out that, I don't know. Personally, I have aesthetic attraction, so I don't know if that's a part of demisexuality, that you don't even have aesthetic attraction until you become emotionally connected. I don't know. I don't know enough about demisexuality to say either way, but it's just weird that she seemed to not grasp that she needed to dress up for this event. So anyway, Evie takes her upstairs and finds her a dress. And it's more of a, part dress. I mean, it's a very nice dress, but it also had a collar and what looked like a very old-fashioned kind of tie. So, So they go to the event, and this is going to hype up a product by this company. And it turns out her competitor is there. And so they go to this bunker, which nobody knows where they are, not even the hostess of the event. None of them know where they are, just that they're in a bunker. And she closes it up in such a way and gives them 2 hours of oxygen because she's so sure that her product will work. And it doesn't. So this whole episode was Mackie, Evie, well, the whole team trying to get everybody out of this bunker. And so of course I was thinking the same thing, that the person who came up with this scheme, came up with this technology, thought, my competitor is here, they must be the ones who are messing with it. It turns out they're not. And so, okay, who the hell is? Now, we see a woman who's pregnant. Apparently, she's going to pop any moment, because she did say she's 28 weeks, I think she said. So, or 38 weeks? 38 weeks. So she's going to pop any moment. And so now this is more of why this show irritates me in a way. So JD and Deshawn go to the murder site, and Deshawn starts sneezing. So he has to go away from the crime scene because, well, he's sneezing. And you don't want to contaminate the crime scene. So the victim is naked and has a plastic bag over his head. So he goes into the other room and calls JD over, and he discovers that he also had an invitation to this banquet, and the invitation is missing. So now we know that whomever is behind this was not invited. Now again, that does not mean that the competitor is absolved. What absolves him is Evie manhandling him and discovering that he doesn't have a jammer. So he's not the one involved, but you know, you can't blame them for thinking that. And he said, oh, I'll sue you. Seriously, you're a competitor. You know, it's not completely irrational to think that you might be behind this. I mean, it's great knowing that you're not a dick, but it can't be assumed that you're not. I mean, they went after everybody. It's not like they singled you out. They checked everybody. Or at least it seemed like they checked everybody. So, Mackie goes and tries to comfort Monica, who's very pregnant and is freaking out, which, understandable. And at some point she loses her shoes. I'm not quite sure when she just removed her shoes. Maybe it was when they found that mini part of the bunker when they were trying to desperately to get in. Maybe at that point she took off her shoes, but at some point she took off her shoes. And I don't know when. So, I think her name is Ava, and her assistant Sophie, who seems like she's going to cry. I mean, she is just so scared because they can't figure out why this technology isn't working. And Evie even accuses her of texting someone when all she was doing was composing a goodbye letter for her mother. And Evie feels like crap for accusing her, but at the same time, again, can you blame her? I mean, granted, Sophie's absolute fear doesn't seem like it's being faked. But at the same time, you know, nobody can use their phones, and suddenly you see someone using their phone. Of course you're going to think that they were doing something that they shouldn't be doing. Now, maybe Evie could have been a bit less confrontational about it. You know, it's like, oh, you know, what are you doing on your phone? And let her tell you, oh, here I'm composing a death letter to my mother. And then problem solved, and you won't feel like you won't feel like a heel for accusing this scared shitless girl of being the one behind all this. Because you could see that she is scared. You know, it's not like she's got a blank expression going doop-de-doop-de-doo. Now, like Abby pointed out, I have no idea why somebody would, you know, basically, I mean, this isn't even a suicide bombing situation. But it is a suicide killing because she's going to die. Or at least that's how, you know, it was presented at this point. Now, they find in that room, among other things, they find a telephone, a working landline. Now, I don't know I don't know how old that phone is, and it's a rotary phone, it looked like. Not sure if those still work, but again, this is Australia, so just because it wouldn't work in the U.S., because I'm not familiar with rotary phones working in the U.S. anymore, so they might still work. So they managed to call JD and Deshawn. They are trying to get any info they can because they looked for the event planner, Lauren Fox, and found her dead. Same MO. And so Rosie is trying to figure out what that substance is on her fingers. So Mackie is able to get through, and she basically, you know, tells JD, shut up and listen, and she gives as much information as she can, including Blue helping with the information that she heard lions. And then they figure out, okay, where are all the military bunkers in Australia, in Sydney, and actually, in Sydney. Okay, this is what she said, so this is the territory we have to cover. Okay, so that gives us 4. So they have the bunkers, because at first it was 8, now it's 4. So Blue said she heard lines, so it's got to be one of these 2. So they go to one, And of course, it's going to turn into a last second save. So they go to one, and it's the wrong one. At first, I thought it looked like it could be, simply because, that seemed like it's a similar construction as to what Mackie and Blue found. So I thought at first maybe it is, they just have to get through the damn brick wall. But no, it's the wrong one. And so Roy seems way too knowing. So it's like, are you toying with them or something? And he's like, wait, are you sneezing? No. Well, that's because the allergens are going the other way. So they realize that they went to the wrong bunker. And so they use a chopper to get to the right bunker. Now, I don't know if they got a pilot or if JD was piloting. That was unclear as to who was doing the piloting. I'm going to guess it was Deshaun because he's Navy. But like I said, it's unclear. So, in the meantime, first, now this is where this irritated me. So Monica goes into the bathroom, and it sounds like she's going into labor. But the door was locked. Mackie had to bust the door down. And this is when I noticed that at some point she lost her shoes. And she just checks on Monica to make sure her heart rate is fine and, help her out as much as she can because it looks like she's going into labor. Okay, fine. Now, how come she didn't question why the frickin' door was locked? I mean, you don't have to bust down a door normally to help a pregnant woman who literally had just walked into the bathroom. I mean, I guess you could say the door is sticky, but considering it was just used, I don't think that's a good explanation. So, what the hell? I mean, I guess it didn't hit her until later that, wait a minute. But yeah, it's like, wait a minute. Why do you have to kick down a door that she literally just went through? So the guys they decide that they're going to try to make a bomb. And before they did this, Evie is composing her own death letter, but an audio version, to Deshaun, basically admitting her feelings for him. And I'm just like, yep, there it is. I saw it coming a mile away. I was hoping I was wrong. And so they try to create a bomb. And they managed to do it, but unfortunately, instead of the bomb exploding outward, it just brought an avalanche in. So it didn't do what they wanted. And so before, Evie was kind of the one who was getting all loopy, and Blue was hanging on, and Mackie seemed to be the best. And after that, they all just let it go. And they decided to play a game, in Deshaun's words, of kiss, marry, kill. You guys might know it as in the more naughty version of kiss, fuck, kill. So, or marry, fuck, kill. It's marry, fuck, kill. And, but, this is CBS, so of course they've got to do the family version. But anyway, so JD and Deshawn find the cars going completely wacko with the lights. And of course, so something good did happen from them creating the bomb, because that led them to the area. And Rosie calls and he says that what he found on Lauren Fox's fingers was a substance used in adhesing wigs. So now we know that whomever it is wearing a wig. And I was already questioning Monica, but you know that who the hell at 38 weeks goes to this event? It's too damn risky. And I was also thinking, wait, is because you're literally going to pop any second. It's not like you're a couple weeks away. You're gonna pop any moment. So what the hell? So I was always already wondering, and I'm like, well, maybe I'm wrong. But no, I was right. And Mackie knew exactly what was going on, because it made sense. She took a special interest in Monica, so of course Monica would know to follow them and make sure that they did not get these people out. She cut the phone line, and the power was restored, so Evie's like, oh, I guess this means the phone works now. But no, the phone is a separate line. And so JD and Mackie go to the bathroom. And of course JD doesn't know what's going on. He just sees a pregnant woman. And he's like, oh, don't worry, we'll get you an ambulance or get you a doctor. I can't remember the wording. And she's like, no, actually, you're gonna have to get yourself a lawyer. And JD's like, what? What's happening? How could you say that to a pregnant woman? Check the stall, and you see an oxygen tank. She was giving herself oxygen, so she wasn't going to die along with her victims. She just wanted to be there because she had a jammer. And the jammer was in her fake belly. And so now we don't know why she did it. It ended as a to be continued. So we don't know why she did it. But it turns out she's the same woman who was part of NAPSAT, I think it was, in the first episode. So now we're getting back to what was going on in the first episode with the Russians having a sleeper cell and whatnot. So now we're finally getting back to that. And since it's to be continued, and next episode is the last of the season, I don't know if anything's going to be resolved or if it's going to end on a cliffhanger. It could go either way. So yeah, I would love to know why she did what she did. So the last scene of the show is her sitting in interrogation, and she takes out a contact lens, and she has this freaky, or puts in a contact lens, I'm not sure, but she has this freaky looking eye, which JD and Mackie, you pan to them, and there's no facial expression, no movement, no, nothing to indicate, wait, what the hell? Nothing like that. I mean, even when Blue took off her jacket and they noticed, at first I thought it was just a specific tattoo, on her that they noticed, but no, it was just the fact that she has plenty of tattoos. So you saw an expression there. This time, nothing. No expression whatsoever. So D sees a pizza and he says, "Oh, you must have given it to me because, you felt bad that you ate my other one." And Evie's like, "No, I didn't. You admitted it in the bunker." "Oh, I guess the hypoxia was taking over." And yes, because people lie during hypoxia. That's the thing. Right. So, that's where he said, "Oh, Blue tells me you were playing a game of Kiss, Marry, Kill." And Dee's all smug about it, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm not telling you anything." Which, fair. The fact that Dee seemed to be convinced that she would have mentioned him in any capacity. Actually, if I were Evie, I would say, yes, when I said kill, I meant you. But no, she was all coy and winking at Blue. So, yes, how many times can they scream that those two are going to end up together? And that was in just this one episode. There were plenty of other red flags, but this had the most. So, yeah. I actually would have loved to have heard what Mackie and Blue were to have said. Blue, I'm sure, would have been someone nobody has heard of, so that would explain why she didn't say anything. But it would have been interesting because I don't know if they're just going to put Deshawn and Evie together or if it's going to be two couples here. And Mackie and JD are going to end up together. Because there's no indication at all about that. They're just doubling down on Evie and Deshawn right now. But it would have been nice to see if that was going to be a thing. So, I believe I've covered everything from this episode. So, like I said, next episode is episode 8, the last in the season. And I haven't heard yet if it's been renewed. But I would be surprised if it wasn't. But Paramount's having issues right now, so it's anybody's guess, I guess. Let's see if there's anything else. No, I think I've covered everything from this episode. Yeah, that's all I have, and I will see you guys in the next episode.